Hello, friends. Welcome to another emulator. So today we are checking out an old school Ultima Online emulator. And I picked the server Excelsior because Excelsior has a little bit different rule set than other servers. Basically, Excelsior has a non-PvP system. So what that means is, well, maybe I should go back a little bit in history. Ultima Online has probably one of the more, or had, no longer does, one of the more brutal PvP systems of any of the games. Basically, if you got killed, you dropped everything on your person. Looking over the inventory you get with this server. So basically, when you die, if you're not a new player, that's a lot of cows. Animal house. I'd say so. And player killers on UO were pretty much the norm. So most of the day you were pretty well safe and could do whatever you wanted. Then usually about 3:15 to 3:30 in the afternoon, you'd get killed immediately if you were outside of town. And then that was pretty much it. You dropped everything you were carrying, and then you had to go find a healer to resurrect. The person that killed you could steal everything you were carrying, so you didn't leave with things that were not blessed or anything that you wanted to keep. Now, this was a huge MMO back in the early 90s. Or back in the 90s. I don't remember exactly when it came out off the top of my head anymore. And it was completely open world. There was no quest system really in place I don't remember seeing those before. Yeah, you made your own fun, basically. And right now we are new, so we are protected. Ah, those are rat people. I remember them now. This is about where my house was on the live server. Since we're new, we will not be attacked by anything, which is cool because I can look around and I can show you what the game looks like without having to worry about being interrupted. I don't mind the idea of PvP, especially in this game. It has a tendency to strip you of everything that you own. So, work. So that was not something that I wanted to get involved in while I was doing a visit and showing off the game. But this was one of the first MMOs. Not the first, like some people seem to think. It was up there. It was relatively at the beginning. The first one was Meridian 59, and I played the heck out of this game. It has been forever since I've played Ultima Online. And I do miss the flexibility of the game. You had a certain number of points you could allocate into skills. And based on those points, you could train skills. So like we will... How do I dismount? Okay, let's go outside of town. Find something to kill. Something small. Let's see if I remember how to do combat. Basically, criminal actions in town will get you killed. And when I played on the live server, I pretty much fulfilled all of the good and bad roles that you can fulfill in the game. I don't like killing birds. They're hard to hit. Okay, let's find something. There's got to be a creature around here somewhere we can kill. I played as a good character, a bank thief, and I also played as a player killer at one point. So I pretty much got most of the roles down that you could do. When I played as a player killer, I actually played as a highwayman. So I would stop people and demand their money. It was kind of fun. Well, let's get back on our llama. Make better time until we can find something killable at our noobish level. I was going to do an install video for this, but every UO server pretty much has their own modded client. So if you do want to play on a server and you do want to try this and you pick a server, it'll have pretty specific instructions on how to install the client. Excelsior was easy. They have their own client. And you just drop the install and run it. So, made it simple. There's a panther, lizard man, harpy. Little hard for us. Bowl. Anyhow, the animal sounds did happen just like this in the game. They were constant. A death in this game is inevitable. So when you die, you need to remember where you died. There was a certain amount of being careful. Things mattered. Whereas nowadays, it doesn't matter what you do in games. You die, you respawn with all your stuff. It's easy. Even in PvP, you don't lose anything. Trolls. I think I'm way outside the lines of where I want to be. Panthers. Trolls. And that is... a wandering healer. So if we do die, the healer would resurrect us. Bull's going to be too hard. So is a deer, actually. So wandering around willy-nilly like this is probably not the best thing to do when you're not in new player protection, because you will run into something. This server appears to have a great deal of Ettins. I really don't want to kill a bird. Cougar. Skeleton, gazer, great heart, zombie. Alright, I guess we killed the magpie. Why'd you kill my llama? Alright, well, our llama's dead. So I guess our mount does not have the same protection that we do. And that was one of the problems of this game. Constantly getting stuck on things. Sheep. We can kill a sheep. Where's the sheep? Okay, we killed the sheep. Alright, let us attack this Mongbat. And you should see down here where we gain skills. I didn't gain any skills. It didn't live long. Need to fight something just a little tougher. Can we fight this guy? This is combat in Ultima Online. And now I'm dead. So now we have to find an NPC healer to resurrect us. you a healer? I think you're a healer. Can't remember how to resurrect. It has been a while. Huh. Already checked combat. NPCs. None of those are relevant. Seems I recall you used to just have to walk near them. Does not seem to be working. I guess it is now. Okay, and now we're back from the dead. And since we're new, we keep everything. Because all of our stuff is blessed. I'm no longer immortal. Darn it. I liked being immortal. That's what I wanted. And now we have a gray robe, and I always like the gray robes better. Man, it's been forever and a day since I've been in this game. But you can see Ultima Online Classic. And yes, I do realize that Ultima Online is still going. There's a lot of teleporters in this game. I realize the game still exists, and I wasn't going to play any games that actually still existed, but I kind of like this one, so to me, worked out well. So, let's cover the basics of the game itself while we're here. Let's get outside of the bounds of town so that we don't have to deal with cats. So here's your skills, and as you can see, we have an extensive list of skills. And we are a fencer. Basically, use quick blades. Usually I combine this with poisoning, and keep this newbie weapon because it has incredibly fast speed and it can't be lost. So we don't need a skill. You can actually tell it not to train that skill. So I don't want to identify items. I don't want to do that. I don't want to EI. I don't want arms lore. I don't want... Oh, I do want animal lore. Anatomy tells you two things. It helps you in healing, and it also helps you in your damage. Darn goats. Okay, tracking, spirit speak, provocation, peacemaking, description, hiding, discordance, detecting hidden, cartography, camping. And you could tell I don't need these skills. So I can actually tell it to put them down if I want to drop a skill, or I can lock it at 0 if I never want to train it. But I'm just going to set them down. Begging is a fun skill. You can actually go around and beg NPCs for things, and they will give you coins and items and stuff. When I played, there was actually a quest, I believe, to go beg from all of the NPCs in the game. It was pretty interesting. Don't need wrestling. I don't remember if swordsmanship affects fencing. It might. Parrying. Don't need mace fighting. Don't need archery. Veterinary. Tinkering. Tailoring. No stealth. No stealing. No spell weaving. And I think you get 300 points to distribute amongst everything. So you have to be a little bit selective in what you get. This one has some different skills though, so not entirely sure what some of these do because I've never seen them before. Oh, we do want healing. Cooking. There was a template that I used to use. It's been forever though. And that should do it. So those are our skills. Can we kill a chicken? Gain some fame for chicken killing, and a token. And there's usually feathers and stuff in here, but this one didn't have any. I don't know what an etchy is. Looks like a blue squirrel. All right. So moving on. There are teleporters and spells to teleport you around, but this game was actually kind of unique in that you could run everywhere and you would find out some of the most interesting things just from running around. So it was sometimes worth your effort to take the extra trip rather than teleport, so that you could find some of those vendors and stuff that were obscure that nobody knew about. Wow, this is really racking my brain trying to play this game. Should know where this portal went. I guess it goes there. Oh well, this area is a little more open, but it gives you a flavor of what some of the graphics were like. I think this is just a housing area. So we'll head back. You always have to be careful walking through somebody's portal. There we go. But this is classic RPG, classic MMO. At one time, there were a tremendous number of people who played this game. So, definitely was popular in its day. I think we can kill a goat. Combat animations are terrible. Nothing in the goat corpse. I think we need to fight things a little more challenging for us if we want to gain some skills. Cow might be more challenging. Does make it a little bit more difficult to target things and to do stuff. As you can see, there are a lot of people who are dead or dying. I think we're outmatched. And things will track you, so eventually that brown bear may find us. If we don't leave the area, he will come hunt us down and try and kill us. So we get away from him a little bit. And this has a lot of the classic RPG elements. There's a lich. We're a new player, so he's not attacking us. But if you're anything into the Ultima lore, then this game will be very familiar. This looks exactly like what you would want an Ultima MMO to look like. I keep forgetting right click is not. Right click is not use. Bandages heal you. Your healing skill regulates how well that works. And since our healing skill sucks, but our intelligence went up by 1, which I don't want. So we would go into status, I think. Intelligence, dexterity, intelligence. Don't want intelligence. We have a limited number of stats we can use. And this is your character, also known as a paper doll. Most times you would want to put things in the bank. My token ledger, I have 5 tokens. Apparently tokens are currency for admins to do things for you. Oops, a book. Okay, so that increases our stats, our new player helmet, our bright, bright green new player helmet. Think of it like a football helmet. And if you run through something, it will take away your stamina. So if you run through enough things, eventually you won't be able to run through anything else. This was a common tactic used by player killers, that they would run through you and then you could not run away from them. because they take all your stamina. So again, young player status, we're not being attacked because we're a noob by the zombies. But this is pretty much old school UO. The new one has a lot of features in it that a lot of people don't like. So being able to play the version of this era with some modifications and customizations appeals to a lot of people. Excelsior as a server seems to be very efficiently ran. It's very easy to set up. I will put a link in the description for it. They do have a lot of very specific rules. Sorry, I'm not talking very coherently this time. This game does require a little more focus than most other games because there's so much manual stuff involved without any of the add-ons I used to use. And none of those were cheat add-ons. They were just things that made the game work a little bit better. And well, when I was playing it every day, I had a better understanding of how the game worked. So now things are a little rusty for me. But I did want to show you what Ultima Online looked like, because this is where a lot of the more modern classic games came from. This is one of the bigger games. So while you've got your World of Warcraft and other things like that, it's a skinned goat. This is where all of those originated. And a lot of things that went on in this game originated from, or went on in those games, was directly because of Ultima Online. A lot of people would call it very boring. It's extremely open world. There's very little to do if you can't figure out what you want to do. So not knowing what you want to do in a game makes it very difficult. You kind of have to have a purpose. This game also does have fishing, among other things you can do, and you fish up treasure maps, and then you can take a group and go hunt down the treasure maps, or you can just sell them. I used to sell them, and I sold quite a lot of them. But the best way to get treasure maps is deep sea fishing. I think it's the only way. And deep sea fishing requires a boat. But by that point in time, you'll have sold so much fish, a boat will be within your grasp. There's a huge economy to this. Crafting is honestly quite a big component of this game. I don't know if I can pull up a... Trying to remember how these things worked. Because like I said, this has been forever. So I don't have any blacksmith skill or any of the crafting skills. But the active skills have blue gems in front of them so you can use them. But there's all kinds of things you can do. God, I don't even remember how to craft in this game. It has been a very long time. Oh, got lettuce seeds. We can grow lettuce. Anyway, that is a basic introduction to Ultima Online. I'm not really sure what else I can tell you about it because every server you play on is going to be slightly different. But if you enjoy PvP, you can find servers that the PvP is absolutely brutal. It's completely unregulated usually. Now, corpse camping and things like that in other games are considered bad form. Corpse camping in UO is considered normal. Stealing all your stuff, normal. That's actually part of the game in most places. Excelsior does not have PvP. And I thought it would be best to be on here rather than on another server, because if our young status got revoked at some point, we would be attacked by another player. And since I'm trying to talk to you at the same time and remember how to play this game, I would be at a severe disadvantage. So we would definitely lose. Plus we have no skills. So how do you gain skills? You do the items. So you want to gain skill in fencing, go hit stuff with your sword. You want to gain skill in healing, go heal things. You want to gain skill in blacksmithy, go blacksmith stuff. And you can gain any skill you want on any character. So if I don't want to be a fencer anymore, I can shut the fencer skill down, and then I can pick up a blacksmith's hammer and start blacksmithing. I can pick up a pick and start mining. I really wish, actually, that I had a mining pick. I'm sure I don't have enough money to buy one. But you don't even need to pay to train the skill. You just start using it, and it starts gaining skill. The higher level, the better you're going to be, the more things you can be effective with it, and the better off you are at using it. So your first mining skill, I think you get iron ore, and then you move up to silver or something. Eventually you move up into some of the more rare ores, and you need to do those in order to learn how to... What are you? That one's private. So you can have a lot of different types of houses in this game. I had a castle. It's really fun. It's just huge, basically. There's a guildstone. Bulletin board. So you can leave messages. And we're in Cove. I don't want to be in Cove. Well, I don't want to be there either. But these are some of the houses you can own. Some of the places you can go. There's dungeons. There's all kinds of things you can do. But as far as how this is, I would say if you want to learn how to play the game, if you missed playing it and you always wanted to, then Excelsior is a good option to learn how to play the game. So you'll be ready when you go play on a real server with PvP and things of that nature, or if you need practice like I do, because honestly I used to PvP all the time, and for the life of me I can't picture how I did it anymore, because none of this is making sense to me right now. A lot of theaters. Now Excelsior does have some policies on AFKing and things of that nature, so just be aware they don't allow it. So there are certain conditionals you can do AFK. There are some you can't. So read the rules and make sure you follow them, because they seem pretty particular about them. They have a very stiff punishment. It's a lot of brass signs. Guardhouse. Anyway, the server seems pretty responsive. As responsive as it can be. It does come with, they have a client you can download. I'm not saying it comes with it, but they have a client that's pre-patched that you can download. And yeah, like I said, I do know that Ultima Online is still running, but the version of Ultima Online that is running now is incredibly far from what some people would like to play. But here's one thing that I liked about Ultima Online. Where is it? The reputation system. So this is what color your name shows up in based on who you are. If you're a normal everyday player, you will either show up to people as blue or green, depending on if you're friendly or whatnot, but blue and green are good colors. So friend, guild, highlight color is green, and blue means you are not a criminal of any kind at the moment. Gray means you can't be attacked, and this is the criminal highlight color. Enemy guilds show up this color, and murderers show up this color. So if you see a character with a red name, it's probably going to attack you and try and kill you. If you see a character with a gray name, that means he's probably going to try to rob you. And if you see a character with a blue name, he will do whatever he feels like doing to probably earn that gray or red name. I always have to assume you're going to be attacked on a regular server because the price of being attacked is pretty high. But can't count the number of times I was standing outside mining. Someone came up with a mining pick with a blue name, and after about 2 minutes whipped out a sword and tried to kill me. It's just the way this game is. But it's also some of the most fun I've had in a game ever. As you can see, some of the houses are pretty interesting. You can decorate your house. This is one of the first housing systems, and they really did a great job with it, I think. Okay, try to remember what all this stuff is. There's all our equipment, to which there's nothing. Spells and special attacks. Now there's a template you can follow when you sign into the server and pick if you want to be a warrior or a mage or a ninja or what you want to be, and they all very descriptive of what you can be. So pretty much that lava. I'm guessing that's lava. Looks like we've reached the end of the world and the end of our episode. I hope you enjoyed this brief visit to Ultima Online. I don't think I did a fair job of representing it as I should have. I thought, honestly, once I got back in here, I would remember more than I did, but I guess it's been far too long since I played this version. So I apologize for that, but I did want to let you know that these sort of servers exist. Excelsior seems to have one of the best communities, and lots of people help each other out. They have what seems to be really good admin staff. They do work against exploiting, and they have a very severe punishment system. So if you decide to play here, check out the rules before you get started so you understand what AFK is and what AFK means to you, because they have a CAPTCHA system that comes up in place while you're playing. If you don't answer correctly within 1 minute, it will determine that you're playing AFK, and you'll get a strike. And the strike system here basically is in-game jail time. So you do chores in jail and get out. That sounds familiar from another game. Maybe you learned something today where they got that idea from. But hey, this game's been running since 2006, this particular game. So it's got a lot of history. Looks like about 11 years of history, I think it is, when this shard started. It's totally free. The client's free. So if you want to go mess around in some MMO history, this might be a good place for you to start. Because I really don't think anybody wants to go play Meridian 59 anymore. As much as I enjoyed the game when it was running, I'm pretty much done with Meridian 59. When it went away, I was okay with that. It's a sad day, but I was alright with it. This was the second or third MMO I ever played, and pretty much really got me started on MMOs. It did have a subscription fee, and that was not really that bad back then, but it was one of the first ones with the subscription fee, and then a number of other games followed this with subscription fees. And now we're where we are today. So, I will leave you with this thought. You've seen the game, you've seen the graphics, you've seen what it's all about. This is pretty much your playbox, what you see right here. There are newer clients you can use that are 3D and have bigger windows and bigger visibility and better maps. But I didn't load the auto map, and I didn't load the tools and utilities, so I don't have access to those. I probably should have, but I thought it might confuse you or me even more, so I decided not to. But I want to thank you for watching the video. I'll put links in the description as to where you can check out this server, and if you have any interest in it whatsoever, I suggest that you do. It seems like a nice way to get back into UO if you've been away for a while like I have, without the extreme threat of player versus player all the time. But with that, I will leave you guys for the day. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you later.